Hey everybody, welcome to the Pagan Perspective Monday subs week. So, I want to thoroughly, honestly, sincerely apologize for I think it was the last 2 months I haven't posted. The first of the last 2 months I remember it was the week of the blue moon, because I made a joke about me forgetting to post on our week once in a blue moon. So that was just a fluke. I actually forgot that week also. I don't remember what was going on, but I was really busy. And I actually forgot that week as well to post on my other collaborative channel, Our Pagan Opinions. Then last month, that just completely slipped my mind. So I really apologize. I was going to film that video and post that Sunday after my original Monday when I normally post, but I didn't, and I'm sorry. So, now I remembered, and I made sure that I set a reminder in my Outlook to post the video on Monday for Pagan Perspective. So this week, the topic comes from Freestyle Skiing 24, which sounds really fun. Alright, so the question is, I've been very interested in the way Wiccans and Neo-Pagans view the moment of creation. I've been studying Wicca, not too much depth because of school, and I've been very curious on this topic. Before I started studying Wicca, I was an atheist, and I feel like I bring a lot of atheist and scientific perspectives into the way I study Wicca. For example, magic and quantum physics and mechanics. At this point, I still believe in the Big Bang and an event that happened before it, so I was just wondering what your view on the moment of creation is. So, honestly, I have not sat down and really thought about when was the exact moment of creation. And the reason that I haven't sat down and actually thought about that and decided what I believe is because I come from the school of thought that all time is now. Everything that has ever existed, and everything that will ever exist, and everything that is currently existing and happening is happening in this moment. The only moment that exists is this moment right now. Basically what I believe, where we came from and how we came to be here. To put it in a nutshell and try to make it as simple to understand but without going too much in depth, is basically that I believe that at one point there was Source, and Source knew itself conceptually. It knew itself as love conceptually. And it wanted to experience itself as love. It wanted to know itself experientially, but in order to experience itself as love, it also had to experience that which love was not. And so it broke it off itself into pieces, which is you and I and everything else that exists in this world. And our main purpose is basically for Source to experience Source's self through our interactions, through our experiences. And that's what I believe. But when we think about the exact moment of creation, I don't think that I could safely say that I believe that there is one. I don't think that I can safely say that I believe that there is a beginning to what we're experiencing. Because in order to believe, now this is a dualist philosophy here, but in order to believe that there's a beginning, then that also insinuates that there's an ending. And I don't believe that there's an ending. I believe that everything is cyclical. Everything is a beginning is an ending, and an ending is a beginning, and it just keeps going and going and going in this infinite, never-ending cycle. And that cycle doesn't necessarily mean that human beings, that what we know as human beings, have existed that entire time. But what I'm saying is that time is a man-made concept. Time doesn't actually exist, and time is not linear. It's linear, I suppose, but it's not like a horizontal linear. It's a vertical linear. Like, everything that happens is happening right now, not past, present, future. Something happened 500 years ago, and we're looking ahead 200 years. That is not how time exists. That's how we perceive time to exist, and that's how we created time to exist. But time itself is man-made, and therefore there's not a beginning, there's not an exact moment of creation, because that insinuates that at one point in time, which is a man-made concept, at one point we had to have, or something had to have happened in the past. And on this horizontal linear scale of time, from past, I'm trying to do this so that you guys can, so that it's for you, past to future, or it would be past to future? Past to future, you guys know what I mean. That at some point something had to have happened, and it's all based on time, but time doesn't exist. All time is now. All time is now. So that's probably the fastest, shortest video I've ever made. I won't say for certain. I mean, the Big Bang Theory and everything like that. I mean, there's evidence to support the Big Bang Theory. I don't believe in, for instance, in this book here, Solitary Witch, there is the myth of creation. Now, it's labeled as a myth of creation. I don't believe in, like, the Christian creation story. I don't believe in any other creation stories that I've read. I don't believe in any creation stories that basically revolve around a deity of some sort, or two deities coming together and basically creating all of life. I don't believe in those. I don't believe that those are accurate. I believe that those are myths, and those are allegories to help human beings understand and be able to comprehend, because our minds, we've evolved to process things as though time were a horizontal linear past, present, future, A, B, C, this is how it goes, sequence of events, because we're kind of wired to think that way. And I wouldn't even say that we're wired to think that way. I would say that we're trained to think that way by our parents and by society, because the moment I mean, Nozomi doesn't know, she has no concept of time. I mean, she knows when it's day and when it's night. But she doesn't know, when she says yesterday, sometimes that means yesterday, but sometimes it means 3 weeks ago. When she says tomorrow, sometimes that literally means tomorrow, or how I perceive tomorrow. But sometimes that just means at some point in the future, like tomorrow it's my birthday. No, Nozomi, your birthday isn't for however many weeks. Or yesterday Grandpa came to visit. No, yesterday Grandpa wasn't here. Grandpa was here 2 weeks ago. But and so I don't think that we're even born with the knowledge of what time is. I think that we're trained and we are conditioned to accept time as being this very organized, very linear structure to which, you know, first this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens. And for us to focus in on a moment of creation, it just doesn't resonate with how I view things and how I perceive things. And like I was mentioning before, with any creation stories that involve any deities or anything, I think that those, like I said, they're just allegories to allow us to be able to understand and personify and put a little bit more structure and just make it more coherent, the story of how we came to be here. Because if you really sit back and you try to comprehend how we got here, or why we're here, or anything like that, eventually you just get so deep into it, and you have to be smoking weed to do it. I don't know. So, as far as a moment of creation, I don't believe that there was one. I think that we're living it right now. I think that it's happening now, and it happened in the past, and it's happening in the future, because all time is now. And as far as any mythology or anything like that, I appreciate the stories, and I have some in my Book of Shadows just because I like the story and the myth, but I don't agree that that is an accurate assessment, or an accurate recollection, or an accurate observation, or anything like that as to why or how or when we came to be, and that we were created. So yeah, that's my take on it. I wish I could go a little bit more in depth, but it's pretty straightforward. I don't believe that there was a moment of creation. I think that because you can't create energy, and you cannot destroy energy. It just exists. and there's not a moment of, it's not a beginning, because if there was a beginning, then what the fuck happened before the beginning? There's no beginning, it just is. It just exists, it just is. That's it. There's no beginning, there's no end, it just is. And yeah. So anyway, that's all I have for you guys, and I will talk to you all next month. And I love you all. Blessed be.